Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm the Sports Jock Wayne Gandy, and you're listening to the Sports Jock Show. It's 10 o'clock. It's Monday. We're live from Atlanta, Georgia. A little chilly outside. Hurricane Sandy has blown the winter winds in. We are trying to keep warm in the studio. Big Kenny, the funny man himself, is looking for his gloves.
Yeah. Hurricane Sandy, just like a woman to mess up a perfect weather pattern.
Lady T, you got the skin for the cold weather, Lady T.
Oh, what does that mean?
Low pigment. You know, you can stand it a little longer than me and Big Kenny.
No, that's not how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works. It's scientific.
It's scientific. And then you don't need lotion either.
Well, really, you guys get over well because the sun, the dark attracts the sun, and you'll heat up. That's why you get hot and black. And see, I'm repelling it, and I need it. So it's
repelling
really
it.
Yeah, I'm repelling the sun. And
yeah.
I need it to heat me up.
She said you get hot and black.
No, I didn't. I said the black attracts the hot. That's why
No.
That was way
hot
better.
in black when you wear black.
Black
Whatever.
attracts heat and
It's freezing
police.
in here, though.
Yeah.
It really is cold.
Any of our listeners on the Northeast Coast, Maryland, D.C., they've even closed the casinos in Atlantic City.
No gambling.
Wall Street is closed today, so Big Kenny and I can't make any money.
Starbucks is closed.
Starbucks is closed.
When they close the crack house, because you know that is an official crack house, technically.
They've stopped the buses in some of the cities. The trains aren't running. The winds are high. The water is coming. And I think,
sounds like a lullaby.
You know how you can see the silver lining in something? You can see the silver lining in Katrina now. Because that was kind of the first storm, as we know, whether, good or bad, that kind of put the country on alert. When the weatherman says, get out, or stay home, or whatever he says, we seem to listen a little more now. Is that not true? Don't y'all feel that way? Like people... It used to be kind of, it's going to go by, or I'm going to board my windows up. Now it's more, not everybody, but you have more people responding and listening and taking the precautions.
I was trying to get to Miami. I was like, babe, that storm's coming. I'm going to Miami. He was like, hey. It is northeast, boo-boo. It is not. I was like, it's...
You thought he said southeast?
Yeah, I was trying to get out. Yeah, I was like, I got to go.
It's interesting you say that, Sports Shock, because in the news reports, one of the places where it's suspected to hit sort of a ground zero effect is Long Island, New York, and a lot of those people have refused to evacuate.
Yeah, that was...
So...
Yeah. You have those people who think that, I built my house in 1927, and it's made of this kind of lumber, and we're just going to go in the basement and get some water. And that's kind of how the Katrina thing went. I was there in the days before the team with the Saints, before we flew out. And when you went to the local grocery store, there was no water. People were really preparing that we're going to ride this out. And I don't know whether
water.
It's...
They got plenty of water. That's what the...
Yeah, but it's a thing of... It's scary when a storm comes because you don't really know where to go.
You don't have control over any situation. And then the only thing that really bothers me is when, there were some people who went out and started surfing, already with this Sandy storm. And my whole thing is don't put the rescuers in jeopardy because they have to risk their lives to save your life. And if you risk your life on a stupid note, it's unfair. It's just unfair.
Well, YouTube, people want their 15 minutes of fame, so I'm quite sure it was somebody on the beach.
Might be their last 15 minutes.
Well, the person that's really crazy is the person sitting on the beach filming you, because at least you're getting the thrill and the notoriety when you show the video. The cameraman is just standing there, getting wet.
Yeah.
So...
It's a shame. Listen, in tsunamis, you can't really call it. Earthquakes, you can't call it. Don't be stupid and set yourself up for the kill when they're telling you the storm is coming.
Do either one of you have relatives or anybody that you talk to in that area?
No, I haven't talked to anybody.
I've got family and friends in that area, and my son goes to James Madison University, and there in Virginia, which is about 3 hours outside of D.C. They canceled classes for the day.
Okay.
My publicist is in the D.C. area. The entire city of D.C. is shut down. No public transportation.
Right.
The federal government is shut down for the day. And it's very serious. They've touted this to be what they call a perfect storm.
Perfect storm.
Which is going to be like the hurricane is coming, mixing with some high tides and some other things that will make this catastrophic.
Yeah, it's crazy. My husband's supposed to ref a game in Philly, and he can't even get Delta on the phone. Like, he can't even get a plane ticket.
Right.
He can't figure out how to get there. So right now he's still in limbo as to whether or not he's actually going to make it. Up there to ref.
They
It's
probably,
crazy.
if this hits like they say, they'll probably cancel.
Yeah, I mean,
those
anytime the
games,
federal
because
government
who's gonna make it out to the
Sure,
game?
sure. You'd have to have left 2 days ago and then sit, and then you're stuck there.
Yeah, the NBA season starts tomorrow.
and Philly ain't that good anyway.
Yeah,
not enough to risk your life over.
You're right about that. NBA season kicks off tomorrow. We're going to talk about that coming up in the show. The Giants of San Francisco, World Series champs. We're going to talk about that also. NFL action. We'll be right back with more of the Sports Jock Show.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Sassy! Sassy!
This week's episode, Rattlesnake at the Pond.
Oh, Johnny, skipping rocks at the pond sure is fun. Hey, look, a moving stick. That ain't a stick. That's a rattlesnake. Sassy, we're in danger. Good idea, Sassy. Go get Mr. Gunderson. You will in a second, but first you'd like to tell us something we may not know about animal shelters in the United States? It's getting close, Sassy! Approximately 8 million pets enter shelters each year? The majority of which are in shelters because of owner-related issues that the animals have no control over? Sassy the rattlesnake! Save us, Sassy! What, Sassy? You wish you were videotaping this? Sassy!
Sassy is brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org. Remember, adopt.
Hey, Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions.
How high can you jump?
But you don't have to know every answer.
How many phone numbers are there?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
The odds of a young girl being discovered by an industry insider while singing to herself pumping gas? 1 in 300 million. The odds of the daughter of a clergyman from Severn, Maryland spending 11 weeks at number 1 on the U.S. singles charts? 1 in 19 million. The odds of going on to win 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of selling over 40 million records? 1 in 800,000. The odds of this musician and performer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Me in dark pair of shades, and you can't see my eyes unless my head is bent. You dig?
Center Court on sports, news, gossip, blah, 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 blah.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock Wayne Gandy, and bad producer Man, I know you well. When you told me that my man Sekou Smith of NBA.com and NBA TV was going to have to come on, I was mentally predicting which basketball song you would play. And I started off with, well, he's about 57 years old, and he's going to play Houdini, Curtis Blow basketball. But then I started thinking about you, man, and you're 57 going on 26. I knew you was going to play balling. I mean, I was riding in the car. As soon as you text me, I said, you know what? What is he going to go with? Is he going to go with that Curtis Blow basket? Y'all remember that? It was my favorite sport.
Yeah.
But we're going to get to that a little later. We got my man Sekou Smith on the line.
And we bet on that. So, Sports Jock, you win $1. You win $1.
NBA TV, NBA.com. Sekou, are you there?
I'm here, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's time to go to work. Your off season is over. Basketball season is back.
Man, who you telling? When that email popped in this morning, time to check in and head to Miami, I was like, wow, the summer is over.
The summer is over. NBA kicks off tomorrow, October 30th. The Heat playing the Celtics. We're going to get to you on that one in a second. But we have to start with this trade. Oklahoma City Thunder, they trade the Beard to the Rockets. The Rockets will be here in town against our Hawks on Friday to kick the season off, our home opener. Were you surprised by this trade at all, Sekou?
Yeah, I absolutely was. And I knew there were some complications with the extension talks with James Harden in Oklahoma City. But Sam Presti, he showed us that it's not about the guy, and the name on the back of that jersey. It's about the name on the front. And I'm sure it was a surprise, to James Harden and probably some of the other players in that Oklahoma City locker room. But Sam Presti is serious about doing that San Antonio Spurs type business, man. You either roll with the franchise and get in line and act accordingly, and that means sometimes getting a contract that the franchise deems that's the best fit for them and not necessarily for you, or they'll let you get out of town. And I don't think it by any means tips the balance of power in the league or takes Oklahoma City out of the championship mix, but it is a stunner.
And the Thunder offered him a nice contract. It was $4 years for like $50 million. So this wasn't like some chump change deal they offered him.
No. It wasn't like they were offering. There was a $20 million gap between the two sides. I mean, this was basically about a season. They could offer him they were willing to go up to as high as $55 million, from what I can gather. And James Harden wanted I guess that extra $5 million meant more to him than competing for championships. Because I'm here to tell you, he and Jeremy Lin and Omar Asik are no one's big three.
No, they're the little three. The three little pigs down there. But when you look at this trade, last thing on it, do you think it was more about Harden want to start and not come off the bench, maybe? Because like you're saying, it was only a $5 million difference, and you're kind of leaving your home and the teammates that give you the better chance of winning the championship. Could it have been that James no longer wants to come off the bench?
No, I think this had a lot more to do with the fact that he wanted to play that free agent game. And it's the same game that Kevin Durant never played, same one Russell Westbrook never played, because they both signed extensions that precluded them ever having to hit the free agent market and get into a bidding war and play that game. James Harden felt like, and rightfully so, he felt like his best leverage would have been to get on that free agent market and drive his price up. And rather than play that game with him, the Thunder said, hey, we want to get you locked up to this extension that fits our pocketbook, and if that's not going to happen, we'll make some changes. And they made some changes. A lot of franchises talk tough like that in the negotiations. And Presti and the Thunder just happened to walk the walk.
Sekou, this is Big Kenny. Good morning. Now, everybody's saying that maybe James Harden could have went on and charged that $5 million to the game. Well, did it have anything to do with the fact that Oklahoma City's in a smaller market? Because as a franchise and him being the type of player that he is, adding the type of the effect that he has in the game when they do put him in, couldn't Oklahoma City have just ponied up the parsley $5 million and kept him there in Oklahoma City?
Yeah, they could have gone over whatever that budget was they have set in stone that they don't want to, that line they don't want to cross, man. But really, yeah, this is the direct result of the Lakers getting Dwight Howard. And follow me when I explain this to you. But by the Lakers getting Dwight Howard over the summer, that meant that the Thunder couldn't amnesty Kendrick Perkins. They had to keep Kendrick Perkins on that roster. Because if you're looking at down the road, who you're going to battle in the playoffs, you can't go against the Lakers with Serge Ibaka and Nick Collison. You got to have two big men, somebody to root Dwight out of that post, and then somebody else to deal with Pau Gasol. So by not being able to amnesty Perkins, the Thunder's hands were tied financially. If James Harden didn't agree to the deal they wanted him to agree to, an extension for just 4 years and that $52 to $55 million, there was no way financially in 2 years they're going to be able to manage the books. And they don't have the Thunder Sports Network or a new deal with Time Warner like, the Lakers have and the Rockets have a new TV deal coming up with the Astros, in conjunction with the Astros. That extra money, that extra revenue stream is not going to be there for the Oklahoma City Thunder. So that means paying that luxury tax is coming directly out of the pocket of the owner as opposed to coming out of that little discretionary Playboy fund you're getting from your new TV deal. And that's where Oklahoma City ran into an obstacle they simply couldn't overcome.
And that's the reason why they got Kendrick Perkins for Andrew Bynum, that center-type guy, because they always felt like they had to face the Lakers. Moving on, David Stern, as the commissioner, has decided he's going to step down in this coming year, after this coming year. Do you see that? What is his legacy? What are they going to say about David Stern as time goes on?
I had the same conversation with several people over the weekend, Wayne. What's funny is I know he's not well liked by the masses. I think we all agree that we've taken offense to some of his actions as commissioner. You look at some of the ways the dictatorial style he's used over the years to manage things, and you say, well, I don't like that. But history is going to be much kinder to David Stern and his legacy than any of us will be right now in our assessment of him, because the league went from tape-delayed broadcasts to being broadcast in over 217 countries in his 30 years on the job. Average salary went from relative chump change to, $5 million now when he leaves the league. There's going to be, and there's no doubt he had some great timing. He came along just as the game was going through a renaissance with Magic and Bird, and then you get Jordan, and you get all of the fantastic stuff we've had since then, But David Stern's name will be associated with the league for a 30-year stretch that I would argue has been as good as you could possibly get in any professional sport, and he'll take that with him to the grave.
Earlier when you came on, Sekou Smith, NBA.com, NBA TV, you said you headed down to Miami for the game tomorrow night. The line on this game is Ray Allen now plays for the Heat. They are playing his former team, the Celtics, and we have discussed on this show over the last couple of weeks how Kevin Garnett has went out and said he's a Ray's number. I'm quite sure this was already going to be an entertaining game. Now this story pops up. Do you see this getting physical tomorrow night?
I think it'll be chippy, and I really do. I think Celtics have shown us over the past few years that they're going to do what they want to do, and they're going to act emotionally and how they do it, no matter where they are, what time of year it is. And I think the Heat will respond in kind because of the message they want to send, that, hey, we're here to defend our title. We're not here to step aside and let somebody knock us off the mound. So I certainly expect it to be a chippy affair. By no means do I expect it to get stupid on the opening night. Anybody get to fight and everything crazy.
You don't
like
expect
that.
it to go Meta World Peace on them.
But I certainly think there'll be some snarls and stare downs and chest pounding, and KG will be pressing out the cushions and staring at the ball and all that good stuff, and yelling at the crowd. That's what you want on opening night, man. That's why I'm going down there. I mean, that's the tone you want to set for the season. And hey, teams are going to be here to compete from the minute you say go until the final whistle, and that's what I want. I'm sure that's what Heat fans want to see. That's what NBA fans all over the world want to see.
Well, Sekou, thank you for calling in. Enjoy your trip, and truly be honest with me, man. You're going down for the sun. Don't try to act like you're going down for the game. It's 40 here, it's 80 there. So, Sekou Smith, NBA.com. NBA season kicks off tomorrow night. We'll be right back with more of the Sports Jock Show. Right? Is this man not obvious with this Curtis Blow song? We'll be right back.
More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Hi, we're talking to real smokers about quitting. Tell me when you smoke and why you smoke.
Eat, cigarette, kids, cigarette, dinner, another cigarette.
One on my way to lunch, one after lunch.
And another cigarette, and another cigarette.
Have you tried to quit?
Yes. I become angry.
It ain't that easy. You can't just quit cold turkey. I tried.
What would you do different?
Actually having a plan and thinking it through.
You have to relearn how to live your life without a cigarette in your hand.
With the right plan, you can quit smoking. Free at becomeanx.org. X, a new way to think about quitting. Brought to you by X and the Ad Council.
Kids have the craziest ideas about food. Where do they get this stuff? Like eating Brussels sprouts helps you hit home runs. And eating carrots gives you X-ray vision. It's nuts. And I honestly have no idea where my daughter got this notion that broccoli is the official food of professional ballerinas. Kids, the only reason my 4-year-old loves cantaloupe is because he's convinced it comes from the moon.
One small step for man, lots of potassium for mankind.
And the other day when my oldest came up to me and said, "Mom, will eating peas and carrots really help me pull off a fakey frontside ollie with a twist?" I look him in the eye and say, "It can't hurt, honey. It can't hurt."
Moms everywhere are finding creative ways to help their kids eat 5 servings of fruit and vegetables a day. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Time for the scoreboard, where we put a spin on life and sports and how they intermingle. On the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. We're going to talk about the NBA a little later in the show. We're going to bring that back up as Lady T takes her notes. She's going to need another hour.
I'm ready for tennis. I'm waiting on my tennis break.
The funniest thing about the NBA that I can't even hold. Tomorrow night is kicked. It's the first night of the season. NBA 82-game season this year. Boston is taking on Miami at 8. Dallas is taking on the Lakers at 10:30. The only other game on tomorrow will be the Wizards against the Cavs.
I'm watching that.
This is when I was talking about scheduling. Like, why did you even schedule this game? When people can't name you 3 starters between the two teams.
That's the hottest game this season. I'm watching. I'm in front of the TV.
That's like a bikini contest with like Oprah and Whoopi Goldberg. Star Jones is a late arrival. Ooh. Gotta tune in.
Cleveland Wizards. But we're in the scoreboard. We're going to talk some NFL action. We are here in Atlanta, Georgia. The Falcons. I said the Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons
Yes.
The Georgia Dome. Whatever you need. 7-0.
The only perfect
the
team.
only team. And I don't. It's too early to be talking about a perfect season, but we will enjoy this 7-0 start. 3 more victories. We'll be sure of a playoff spot, especially how this division is going. The Saints can't win. We'll talk about that in a minute. Cam Newton and his whole attitude.
Cam Newton.
So those teams are not going to challenge the Falcons at all at this point, being 7-0. The Falcons, after a bye, go into Philly against their former leader, Michael Vick.
Mm-hmm.
And the Tweety Birds wasted my time. They really wasted. You know, how you have certain games like, right. Man, this going to be a game. This going to be that game. I'm going to go get me some expensive food. This isn't Zaxby's night.
Yeah.
This is that real deal. I need a knife and a fork because this is going to be going down.
Call the caterer. Right.
Yeah, that lasted the first drive. The Falcons took the ball 80 yards, 40 plays, and the Eagles never could stop them. I don't even think the Falcons punted the ball into the second half, beating Philly yesterday. Michael Vick, even in his press conference, what do you do, Lady T, at this point with Michael Vick? I know what Kenny would do. It'd be time to move on. But Michael Vick and this team coming off a bye, they're home. They got all the reasons to play hard.
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking you give the second string cat an opportunity and see what he can do. I mean, I think the coach needs to make some moves now because he might not have a job in a minute. Like if he doesn't figure the situation out. I mean, I was listening to a couple commentators over the weekend, and they were referring to Michael Vick as the coach killer. Like, every time,
no matter
every time you get on the team, they fire the coach, But then, of course, the other guy was like, "Hey, no, that's happened to a few players." But I mean, honestly, the backup guy, I can't think of his name. He has a different game than
None
Michael
of us
Vick.
can really think of his name.
Sure.
It's something that you really have to go look at the schedule, because when you look at this team for how they pay Big Kenny, Michael Vick, you don't ever suppose, unless Vick is hurt, you never think that this is something that would happen at this point in his career.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And then, too, some of that responsibility has to fall on the shoulders of Andy Reid, because the Falcons are known to give up about 5 yards average per run. Mm-hmm. They're not that good at containing the run. And they did a lot of throwing yesterday. I mean, maybe, and you saw that Mike is not being that effective. Put the ball on the ground and run at the Falcons and see how they hold up. They did pretty good yesterday. They had a nice little goal line stance, but if you want to challenge them and see where they are physically, see where the heart of the team is, run the ball at them, let Michael Vick step back and hand it off. And yesterday he was trying to run. He keeps diving forward to get the first down.
Right.
He's going to get knocked out, and they won't have to worry about what to do with him because he'll be sitting on the sidelines, wondering where he is, and they'll have to play the second string guy.
Nick Foles, that's his name.
And as the game went on, you kept thinking that maybe they would try something, put the backup in too, because the team seemed flat. I never seen the Eagles had a bye too. They come back with all this pressure. The secondary, they pay all this money to Asamoah and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, both of them making about $8-10 million a year. They couldn't cover me. Julio ran by him early. Roddy ran whatever route he wanted. They even had Pretty Boy Tony pushing people in the face and stuff like that. And that ain't even, he's about 38. Right. He don't want to fight nobody. I know at this point.
Especially with that manicure he just got.
Yeah, that pretty, and that perfect curl that he has in his hair. But
I think he and Jermaine Jackson get their hair done at the same place.
But when you watch this game, you have to take your hat off to the Falcons because no one believes in them. They went out on the field, showed it 30-17. The game was never in doubt. So
let's see it in the playoffs. That's what I want to see it.
This week, Dallas is...
Jets.
Hey, don't start.
I like that. I like that, lady. We're going to talk about that.
Gotten to that yet.
right after this break, we'll be back.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Hey, Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions.
How high can you jump?
But you don't have to know every answer.
How many phone numbers are there?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
The odds of a young girl being discovered by an industry insider while singing to herself pumping gas? 1 in 300 million. The odds of the daughter of a clergyman from Severn, Maryland spending 11 weeks at number 1 on the U.S. singles charts? 1 in 19 million. The odds of going on to win 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of selling over 40 million records? 1 in 800,000. The odds of this musician and performer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
I had a way then, losing it all on my own. I had a heart then, but the queen has been overthrown.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy, and as we left, we were talking about the Eagles maybe moving Mike Vick to second string at least for a week. Maybe Time to Think will help him. Another quarterback, as Lady T alluded to, for the Jets.
Jets. We're in relationship therapy right now, me and the Jets. We going to counseling.
The Dolphins go into New York. Dolphins don't even like cold, windy weather like that. And beat up on Mark Sanchez. I'm talking about beat up 30-9. This was another game that the Jets never were into. The Dolphins started early with defense, blocked a punt, scored a touchdown. Is it time for touchdown Jesus? Maybe to give him a try. Maybe is it time because Mark Sanchez is taking this team nowhere. They're 3-5, and they get beat. They don't just like lose. They get beat when they lose. The Dolphins did this with Matt Moore. Like I had to Google like who is he was because I had forgot Matt Moore was there.
Yeah.
Because Tannehill was drafted.
Got knocked out.
Yeah, he got knocked out. Had only thrown 5 passes. Matt Moore goes in the game and still has a great, a solid game for a backup in that kind of situation. And the Dolphins put 30 points on your team. Big Kenny.
Put the gun
can't
down.
Score.
Don't shoot yourself. Put the gun down, Kenny. Don't turn to suicide.
If all the pills
I
took yesterday didn't do it, I'm not worried about a bullet. It may be time for Wildcat Jesus. I mean, who else are they gonna go to?
Right.
Who else do we have? Who else is left?
John Parker Wilson, I think, is there. Remember John Parker Wilson?
Wasn't he on Full House or something like that? Isn't it an actor? John Parker Wilson. He used to be with the Olsen twins or something like that. Who are these people that? I mean, anytime you start pulling quarterbacks out with 3 names, something is wrong. I mean, if we can't count on Wildcat Jesus, I don't know, man. The Jets are struggling. Not even struggling. That's not what you call being beat down 30-9 by the Dolphins
at home. That's what gets you fired. That's what people don't realize when you start showing your fans that kind of, it's okay to go on the road, but when your fans actually are sitting in the stadium and witness this kind of stuff, that's when your job is on the line. And Rex Ryan, who loves to talk, he has kind of been beat into quietness. Like when he's at the press conference, he looks like, man, I can't wait till this is over.
I'm looking at Greg McElroy's picture. I think y'all should put him in the game. He's the third string.
What?
Of Jets. Give him a try. He got freckles. He's cute. I mean,
you talking about the golfer the Greg McElroy?
No,
this dude.
That's Rory McIlroy.
McElroy. I'm sorry,
This dude,
McElroy.
Whoever you're talking about, this dude was probably washing towels this past
I'm just
Sunday.
saying, he looks
And
cute.
now you just
Let's go with a whole nother
Yeah,
theory.
y'all got a bunch of cute
Let's go
quarterbacks
with, like-
there.
That's
Big
what
J.
we hang our franchise on, the best looking quarterback. Let's
Greg
get us a really cute
McElroy.
guy.
I said McElroy, but McElroy. I mean, he's 24. He's a year younger than these other cats. He about the same size.
Right.
Played for Alabama.
See, this is why women
Run
haven't
with it.
become GMs yet of
Yeah.
NFL
Exactly.
teams.
Exactly.
You can't-
That's nice.
Because I don't think Tebow's gonna be able to help you.
Hey, look, don't
I'm just
talk
saying,
bad
there
about
was
Wildcat
3 on
Jesus.
the roster. No, Wildcat Jesus, like Sports Jock said last week, is trying to get his little, pose onto the video games. He's trying to make money. He's trying to get copyrighted. He is not
T-bowing.
focused. We talked about that. He is not focused. So let's get the third stringer on.
I don't
and
know.
let's tune his violin.
The Jets need something to happen.
Yes.
They need something desperate to happen. I don't know if somebody needs to corner Mark Sanchez in the locker room and touch him up a little bit and go, hey, you need to get your head in the game. I don't know if Rex Ryan needs to sit down with the owners of the Jets and have one of those, hey, do you really want to be here? Talks. You know how management will pull you in the office when you're not performing quite well and go, look now, it's either this or you can go and be a position coach with your brother over there in Dallas.
Right.
But we need to do something.
And the thing about it, the Jets have had a lot of home games. They played most of their games. 5 of their 8 games have been at home, where they're 2-3. So now your last 8 games, you got to go on the road more of the time. So it's going to have to be a big, quick turnaround.
3 and 5 ain't that much turnaround in the world
for them to make the playoffs.
You never know.
Yes.
They might surprise us come the end of the season. I mean, now, ride or die, win or lose, I'm going to be a Jets fan. But it's really hard to be a Jets fan when they are hobos. I'm just saying. These people, they're living under a bridge. I'm afraid that with Sandy hitting the East Coast, Mark Sanchez may drown because he sleeps in the subway.
I was reading he broke up with the girlfriend, the old lady.
See, nobody's sticking with him. Everybody's replacing Mark Sanchez right now. She's talking to this McElroy dude now. She slipped him the number,
she
right?
Tried TiVo, and TiVo want to pray.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wildcat Jesus ain't interested in the flesh. He's trying to focus on his spirituality. So she's slid her number to this McElroy dude and about to put him in the game. Nobody wants to stick with Mark
Nobody
Sanchez
wants Sanchez. And what's so interesting in both these situations, the Eagles and with the Jets, I think that the coach's job is hinged with the quarterback. I think that if Vic is out, Reed is out. Sanchez is out, they're going to fire Rex Ryan. I think that's how it looks. And even when they interview both of them, they look like they're connected. Like, man, you losing my job.
But you can justify that. You can justify that with the play. I mean, at some point you're going to have to pull the trigger on a new dude.
Because you're the head coach who went to the GM and the owner and told them, give him the money. He's our guy. And both Mike and Mark got big deals. And that's when the firing starts. When you come in and put your name, like co-signing for somebody, that you're going to, he's going to lead us to the promised land, give him the $100 million. And now within 2 years.
Is that like a football Ponzi scheme or something? Just come in and just try to get somebody.
You're saying the coach is getting a little kickback?
Like, man, you know you're going to suck. I'm going to suck. We're going to get fired, but let's run this to the top. Give them $100 million. See if they listen.
We'll be back with more of the Sports Jock Show right after this.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Psst. Hey, over here.
What?
Right here, on the side of the house.
Who said that?
Look down. I'm right at your feet.
Wait, the basketball?
Yes, the basketball. Right down here, where the kids left me a long time ago. Man, you know how lonely it is being a ball and not being able to bounce or roll?
Excuse me?
Remember when you got me for the kids? You said, now kids, you have no excuse not to go outside and play.
Uh-huh.
Wow. I'll miss flying through the air and hearing the shouts of joy when I swish through the basket. What do you say? Could you give me a little air and remind the kids of how fun I still am?
Okay. Oh, wow. You are flat.
Easy, I'm ticklish. Let's get bouncing.
As Native American parents and caregivers, our encouragement to healthy lifestyles for our kids is helping them get outside and play. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov/Indian Country. Brought to you by USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Everybody, let's go, let's go. Ho, ho. Welcome everyone to West High School Spring Fling. Hey, where we at?
Alright, I've gone through all the tracks, just move through the beats. Do your thing.
All right, everyone, let's hear it for West High's own Brooke Turner, a.k.a. DJ Hook.
Scratching at my first school dance takes confidence. So getting into college, I've got what it takes. Okay, I went through the practice sessions, I slept good, I feel good.
We will now begin the test. Please take out your pencils.
I got this.
We're all good at something. Maybe it's breakdancing or skateboarding or video games. Whatever you're good at, you had the skills to make it happen. And those same skills will help us get to college. Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org.
I've got what it takes. So do you.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions.
How high can you jump?
But you don't have to know every answer.
How many phone numbers are there?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock Wayne Gandy, sitting here with the funny man Big Kenny.
Yes.
And the feisty
That's
Lady
right.
T.
she gets a new title every week.
Yeah, she did.
one week she's fashionable,
Raggedy.
another week she's
Could be any of that.
feisty.
She feisty today because she is dedicated to getting some tennis put on this show.
Are
What
they
are you
playing
saying?
tennis right now?
I thought
Yes.
It's 42 degrees. Can we even talk tennis
They're not playing
responsibly?
it.
I
in
think they're
Atlanta.
in.
Well, they
Where
were.
are they? Before we get back, I'm trying to give you a little.
The WTA just finished up in. Oh man, where were they?
Okay,
All
we'll
right,
come back to
moving
that
on.
later. We'll come back to that later.
Moving on from the tennis segment.
In Turkey.
The
They were in
praise-
Turkey. They were in Turkey. They were in Turkey.
You
The
better stop
Patriots.
team
We'll
building.
come back. We'll come back to that.
Dang.
We'll come back to that. We'll
Better
try
stop.
that again a little later in the show.
You better stop team building with the bad producer.
The NFL invaded Wembley Stadium again for their annual NFL game over there. They sent the Patriots over there, and they sent another team that they should leave at Wembley Stadium. The St. Louis Rams. This got out of hand early, and I turned it off early too, Lady T. The Patriots 45-7. The most interesting part of the whole game was Gronkowski's hula
changing
dance
of the
or changing.
the second touchdown dance that he did. That was a bit vulgar, Governor.
Did you even know what that was?
I don't know, but I'm sure the Brits were not prepared for that
because the Brits are coming, weren't ready for
that. they don't get that kind of stuff on TV over there. You know what I mean? They're a little more conservative.
When I saw him do it, I'm like, well, this is what that porn star is teaching him.
That's what it was.
Yeah, because I couldn't figure out. I had never seen that dance.
No.
270-pound tight end wiggling like that. I seen the palace guard changing thing.
Right.
Because, he did that little march, but then he got beside himself.
At least it wasn't Gundam style. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's doing that.
What is it about that Gundam style?
I don't know. No one knows.
Everybody. You're right.
No one knows. And at least I guess he was trying something different. Not every experiment works.
Right.
But at least we're talking about it this morning.
Well, when you have 8 catches for about 150 yards and 2 TDs, you get to dance.
You can get away with a little hip thrust.
Yeah, you get away with that kind of action. The Patriots moving to 5-3, and they're an offensive team. So when that offense is clicking, it's hard to beat them. They're one of those teams that probably won't win the Super Bowl, probably won't even make it, but they're not a team you really want to play in the playoffs because if that offense is clicking, if for at least one day they can put up those kind of numbers.
Now, before the season started, the great minds that run the NFL, there was nobody in the head office that thought, the Rams. I mean, if we're going to go all the way to another country,
right,
let's make the game interesting at least.
Well, they do it with the bye week because they try to let them play and then come off and have a bye week. We know why they sent the Patriots. I think with Jeff Fisher being the new head coach of the Rams, they might have thought that. And then sometimes it's just a rotation, it's your time. Like,
yeah,
it can be something.
Might as well send this.
You might as well.
Everybody number comes up at some point.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And you got to go.
Finally, okay, it's your turn. Y'all go ahead. Because
seems like a lot of might as well.
Yeah.
Like, might as well play him. Might as well fire the coach.
Another offensive team, Green Bay, seems back on track. Charles Woodson is out for about 6 weeks, but the Packers did beat the Jags 24-15 yesterday. Megatron and the boys took on Seattle. Great game. Came down to the last play of the game. Matthew Stafford hit Titus Young Sr. Now, for y'all that don't know, the story goes that Titus Young, who's about 24, 25 or whatever, he had a son this offseason, and he named him Titus Young Jr. So when he came back, he told him he needed Young and the SR. Now, I don't remember that being the way it works.
That is not the way that it works.
I don't think that is the way it works.
It's hard to argue against the SR when you've let a dude be a Ocho Cinco or something else ridiculous. Hayward, Bay, Jones, Drew. Anytime you're allowing people to that kind of leverage, and then somebody comes along with I want to be senior.
Right.
Esquire, then you got.
Well, I'm just hoping that he does realize as the senior, you don't actually have to put senior.
You're first
on your jersey. You're Ken Griffey, and then there's Ken Griffey Jr.
Right.
But I guess he might have been his first child or first son,
or either that or the baby mama was on some. You better put senior on there so everybody know you have a child. I'm sure.
Yeah, could have got some pressure from the wife.
There's always
actually that's a come up. I think you let out a secret. Let them know you got a child already. Put that senior on there. Anybody, any chick. Yeah, that goes against the rule. Only time you need senior is when he's rocking it without junior. So you know what I mean? That's only. It just makes no sense. So whatever.
Mark Ingram didn't put junior on his jersey. He's the junior because his daddy was in jail. He just make you think he is the first Mark Ingram.
The first and only.
He should have put his inmate number on the back.
But we're going to go to break. We come back. We're going to talk about the Broncos and the Saints. And then I got a funny story about Cleveland, even though there was no points in the game. But we'll talk about that when we come back from the break.
888-926-7562, thesportsjoc.com.
More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Sassy! Sassy!
This week's episode, Rattlesnake at the Pond.
Oh, Johnny, skipping rocks at the pond sure is fun. Hey, look, a moving stick. That ain't a stick. That's a rattlesnake. Sassy, we're in danger. Good idea, Sassy. Go get Mr. Gunderson. You will in a second, but first you'd like to tell us something we may not know about animal shelters in the United States? It's getting close, Sassy! Approximately 8 million pets enter shelters each year? The majority of which are in shelters because of owner-related issues that the animals have no control over? Sassy the rattlesnake! Save us, Sassy! What, Sassy? You wish you were videotaping this? Sassy!
Sassy is brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org. Remember, adopt.
Hi, we're talking to real smokers about quitting. Tell me when you smoke and why you smoke.
Eat, cigarette, kids, cigarette, dinner, another cigarette.
One on my way to lunch, one after lunch.
And another cigarette, and another cigarette.
Have you tried to quit?
Yes. I become angry.
It ain't that easy. You can't just quit cold turkey. I tried.
What would you do different?
Actually having a plan and thinking it through.
You have to relearn how to live your life without a cigarette in your hand.
With the right plan, you can quit smoking. Free at becomeanx.org. X, a new way to think about quitting. Brought to you by X and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the... Welcome... No, don't wave your hand like it was on, man. I was trying to talk 10 seconds ago. Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. 888-926-7562. Send it by fax, carrier, any kind of.
Just stop by the studio. just stop by the studio and push some buttons.
I'm looking for.
I almost spit this expensive juice all the way across the table.
He got so caught up playing that little Scrappy that you had to put your paws on.
And he pointed like.
It's like it was me.
Yeah, like you retarded.
I tell you.
Let me tell
good
you
help is hard.
A good lie with a little bit of proof ends up being the truth.
It is the truth.
If he can do some deferment, some deflection, like, that was your bad.
Well, I have a, Halloween is Wednesday.
Sure.
And I figured I would dress up for Halloween. And I was figuring, how could I go? Who could I be? So I decided. So I'm going to let y'all pick,
Oh, good.
See if you can get who I am.
This is when we get fun. Yay!
See if you can guess who I am.
RG3. Before you even put it on, RG3. RG3.
Can you guess who I am?
Because the bad producer screamed Rick James, but because you are not burning a white woman with a cigarette,
right.
I'm going to say RG3.
I am Robert Griffin III.
So I got to relate this to sports today.
This is how I wear my hair. No one can figure out
why.
What style, first of all, this is supposed to be.
I thought you might have been Precious, but
no, this is my RG3 look. As you might have seen in the Redskins-Steelers game yesterday. And the thing about it, I was looking for a little white tie because in the press conference, he had a little bow white bow holding it back. And man, I was like, really?
Man.
He got on like a $3,000 suit. Like, I know that was Hugo Boss.
And listen, what really is depressing, I saw him pregame when he was walking into the locker room. He had the shades on. He had the suit. You just said it was a $3,000 suit, which depresses me more because he spent that amount of money on that horrid, ugly suit. This dude is a really, really smart guy.
Correct. Very
Plus,
smart.
on top of that, has made a lot of money in a relatively short amount of time in the NFL.
Yes.
Hire a stylist, sir.
Yeah,
at the very least. Or who that just goes to show you he's surrounded by yes men. Right. Because somebody who cares about him ought to go, bro, really?
I'm hoping that he bumps into Julio Jones in the offseason, and Julio just tell him, hey, bro, yeah, I thought it was about that too. And I cut mine.
Right.
And I was still able to catch touchdowns.
Sure.
It's not the hair. It's that I do just have the ability.
And he's not that cute. He really does need to, clean up.
Now, the only thing that yesterday gave him any kudos that he was okay with his hair was the Steelers uniform.
It was
now,
Halloween.
I played for the Steelers. And I got a couple of texts, and I'm like, well, I never even seen that jersey in the trophy case. You know how you go to a team and they have a display of the old and the trophies. I didn't know what to say. I'm really upset with the Steelers because I couldn't focus on what they were actually doing as players because it was horizontal, and then they had it on the socks.
What were they? Bumblebees? Were they chain gang members? I was thinking half the team is thinking we're bumblebees, and the other half is thinking I've been working on the. I mean, what is going on with the Steelers? And then they said it was a throwback.
It was a throwback to 1934, 35. And I had just told my boy, we were sitting there watching the game, I said, man, there must have been the Great Depression uniforms because they looked like they had the numbers in tape.
Was it
like the number didn't even look like it was on the actual jersey. And I'm like, wow.
Was it rugby? And I mean, to think that they
side
spent
shot
the money.
of you, Wayne. But I can't focus myself. While you talk about you can't focus on their uniforms, I cannot focus on the side shot of you with
I'm RG3.
That's how he looks in real life. That's how he looks in real life. This dude, somebody needs to sit him down.
Right.
If I were you, RG3, I'd go for an endorsement with Supercuts,
right.
And I'd make them pay me to watch me cut it. I'd sit in a chair.
That's what Julio did. He did some kind of charity, cut his hair, and I don't know how much money he raised.
Locks for cancer or nothing like that. I
don't know how y'all do this. I don't know how y'all do this, but
that dude is horrible.
But the Steelers uniform might have been terrible, but their play wasn't. They went out and dismantled RG3.
I mean, but when you look like that, you better play hard. Sure. You can't look like a bumblebee and then play like a bumblebee.
And they're such a dangerous team because when you watch the Steelers, you realize the personnel is there, especially on defense. And it's like I said with the Patriots, you don't really want to have to play them in the playoffs because if they get up for that one game, they have the defense. We know what Big Ben's going to do week in and week out. Especially even and I salute Ben because he's still able to play with a wife. Some people lose their game when they get a wife. Andre Agassi, when his game slipped, his first wife.
He was getting older.
No, not his first wife. When he had the mullet.
Oh yeah,
When he used to rock that mullet with Brooke Shields.
You're right.
He went from like top 5 to.
Hey, and Federer, you can almost say when he decided to marry Mirna, whatever her name is, and she got pregnant, you could say that too. You might be right.
From the beginning of time, Samson and Delilah, all the way up to now. Let a woman get involved, and your game's gonna suffer.
Well, the Steelers beating the Redskins 27-12.
Roethlisberger's wife suggested those uniforms. That was her idea.
Did you see D'Angelo Hall though? Did y'all see? Oh man, you have to YouTube it. At the end of the game, he just cursed the ref out. They ejected him. I'm quite sure you'll see it in the paper.
Trying to be
$50,000 fine.
Sure.
Trying to be relevant. D'Angelo, sit down.
Yeah, the game was out of hand. Your frustration. Don't let it cost you no money. A game check for that kind of little action. But those uniforms need to be put back in the box and shipped back to whoever made them.
For another 100 years.
We'll be back with more of the Sports Jock Show right after this.
You can watch the SEC pre-show game with Wayne Gandy Fridays, 11:15 on CBS Radio 46. Check them out on thesportsjock.com.
Now you go back to your juice, your expensive juice.
I am.
Expensive juice.
More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Go, Caleb! Come on, hit a homer, Jesse.
Let's go, guys!
Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Wow, jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's true. I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
Oh, hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh. I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The forest is a treasured and magical place.
Hello, Bambi. Hello, little prince. Hello. Hello there.
But a wildfire can destroy its beauty for a lifetime. It's always wildfire season somewhere in America. Nearly 9 out of 10 wildfires nationwide are caused by the carelessness of humans and could be prevented. But together, we can make a difference.
Watch what I can do.
Help protect the home of our forest friends.
He can call me a flower if he wants to.
To find out more, log on to SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
This message has been brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, the National Association of State Foresters, and the Ad Council.
Come on! You can do it!
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
You're listening to the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. And if you know me at all, you know that I don't just go to places and get one biscuit. I know y'all feeling bad that I'm the only one in costume. So I didn't want you and Big Kenny to feel bad. So I did find y'all something to.
No, actually, I was feeling okay with you being in costume.
1 second. We'll get to the games in a second. I got to get y'all. I brought my bag here. Got
When
my
you
bag.
got out the truck with them bags, I knew something wasn't right because you don't carry bags.
Yeah, I don't really carry
No, you
bags at
don't.
all. But I was thinking about you when I bought this.
Listen to my daughter
Let me
over
see
there
you.
laughing.
Because last week you admitted to being raggedy.
Oh, so I'm Raggedy Ann.
So
Keep laughing, homeboy.
Yeah, I haven't seen what's coming out the bag for me yet. I'm a little nervous now.
Oh, no. So we got Raggedy Ann.
I don't know to put my
And-
headphones behind on top.
Big Kenny.
Afro Circus.
Let me take the hairnet off.
polka dot,
real quick.
Afro
Let me-
Circus.
Afro Circus.
the
Polka dot,
hairnet.
polka dot, Afro.
You know, I was thinking about you too. You know, so we can all join in. In the Halloween spirit, you got to keep the Halloween spirit going.
Afro Circus.
There it
Afro
is, right there.
Circus.
Now we're ready.
Polka dot, Afro. Yeah, this is pretty much me right here, Sports Jock. I think I'm going to hit the strip club in this.
You are holding it down.
But Lady T, you look just precious right there.
I do,
Look
don't
you should
I
be-
thought she was Wendy at first.
I could be from Wendy's hamburger.
And she has some chili and
no,
some
I am
fries
Raggedy
with her.
Ann.
You are Raggedy Ann. You said you were Raggedy.
Right, I put
and you know-
my braids in behind my headphones behind.
And with that skin complexion, I can't tell if that's a
No, you
wig
can
or
put 'em on
not. You know
top.
what I mean? It looks
Yeah.
kind of natural on you, Lady T.
There I go.
That
That's
might
a
be
good
your
shot.
color.
Yeah, don't take that home and be doing some stuff in the
bedroom.
Role playing. Yeah, can I get a large fry?
I got some with a red wig.
Start throwing hot oil on each other.
With some red Louboutins. That's it.
Let me get the double stack.
Put my lipstick on so I can be correct.
Well, last night the Saints went out to Denver.
Why?
I don't know why that was why.
Why?
And once again, it became a game that got out of control. Peyton Manning and this team is really picking up steam since they came here to Atlanta and lost to the Falcons. Peyton seems to be getting back to form, even with what you call that duct tape he got.
Oh, yeah. I call him Frankenstein Manning.
Yeah, he's doing his
thing. The duct
thing.
tape and the wood glue that he's got in his neck.
And their head coach, Ron Rivera, he definitely has that. Jack Del Rio, excuse me. He has that defense playing great out there now, especially against a team like the Saints that wants to pass. That look at y'all.
Now I get my pictures.
Always got to be this. This is not 112.
You know it is. Throwing the peace sign.
Man, look,
I always got to do the club.
I had
pose.
the original 112 VIP card back in the day. I just want y'all to know that was a real. You were really somebody special if you had that 112 VIP card back over there by that Disco Kroger. Don't even play.
I heard that.
I got the
I don't think
Peyton
Peyton Manning has a 112 VIP card, but he did buy some Papa John pizza places.
He bought like
20, 21
of them. Yeah.
I'm quite sure.
Really?
What it really was probably was stock options that the pizza man couldn't actually afford
to pay him to do those
So
commercials.
he said, "Hey, how about I give you some free stores?"
Right. Yeah, that works though.
Because Peyton Manning, even in his has only one Super Bowl. He has become like the football commercial guy. Right. He's on several commercials. I know he does a car commercial where he acts like he calls his dad. He does the Papa John's, and then he does a little direct TV. Stop looking at yourself.
I'm trying to make sure my bangs are right.
Did she just say her bangs?
My bangs.
On her wig.
No, but you know what I was thinking? I was thinking when I was seeing the Papa John's commercials that I was like, Papa John's is rolling like that they can get him on there. Like, that's a lot of money, but you're right. It probably was.
Yeah,
in stores.
Especially if you're giving away 2 million free pizzas.
Sure.
You're not making any money because they make me want to go get my free pizza. I don't know how you got to go online or something, but he does own some pizza places, and his game is returning. Threw for 3 touchdowns last night. Drew Brees and the Saints. I don't know. I mean, this cloud of the bounty thing, Sean Payton being suspended, I thought they had enough veterans on that team to push through that. But you can see how sometimes we disregard the effect of a head coach.
Do you think he should come back with some brand new salary demands? Like, look, you can't live without me. You might as well go ahead and give me about $80 trillion gazillion dollars because without me they are garbage.
Right.
They are garbage. I thought they were going to get back on the horse after the couple of little plays that they had that made them look like when they won the first game, but they've only won 2.
Well, the one thing about them, even with all the winning they've done, they've never been a great defensive team. And I think this year that their offense is not on high cylinder, the defense is getting exposed, that it never really stopped anybody. The Saints just used to score a lot of points, and as you see, losing the Broncos 34-14.
I've got to fix this wig. I can't take it now.
You got to fix your wig.
It's not my real hair, okay? just to make you more comfortable.
Y'all are really.
That's right. There we go.
Oh, is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're in the Halloween spirit here at the Sports Jock Show. The producers think that I didn't get them something.
Oh.
But I got them something. They just don't know it yet.
Another
We'll be
job.
right back.
Hopefully you got another job.
Pink slips.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait, hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew.
Wait. Mom, what?
What? Hold
What'd
on.
you say? Wait a second. What?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I am RG3. I'm sitting here with Rollo the Clown and Raggedy Pam to my
I'm kind
left.
of feeling that color on you, though, lady.
I am so owning this.
That's you. That is you.
We got our man Han Vance on the line. I'm going to grab him in 1 second and talk about a little college football. But like I said, the Sports Jock don't go just get one biscuit. He used to bring multiple biscuits to the team. So I did get the producers some outfits, even though I removed their camera. Now, they might have a little secret camera knowing the bad producer.
Sure.
I did remove their camera, but I didn't want them to feel like I forgot them. So real quickly before we talk to Han, let me give them their costume.
Let's
come
see
over and receive your gifts. You can use my camera.
The bad producer's costume is an efficient producer, and we're going to dress the good producer up as a guy.
No, just dress him up as a Democrat. That'll kill him.
Give him a real dog. That'll make him outside the box.
What you doing, Sports Jock?
I gotta get it out. Bad producer, come get your costume.
Is that?
I'll pass that around there to the bad producer.
No.
Is that Sarah Palin?
Yes, that's Sarah Palin.
Sarah Palin. Well, Mitt Romney.
Bad producer, we're waiting on you.
Mitt Romney, Sarah
Could
Palin.
y'all please send the bad producer? We gotta hurry up, bad producer.
Hurry up. Put your mask on.
Put your mask
homie.
on.
Any other
Come on.
Any other time he rushing to get on this side of the glass.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
He won't even come around here.
And now it's
Thank
his
you,
and now,
good producer.
And good producer, we have you too. There you go.
He might do a better job.
Producer.
Obama, baby.
There you go.
Did you see how he stopped?
You see how he stopped that Obama?
A black guy. You want me to be a black guy?
Shut up.
Can I get that down, bad good producer? There we go. You can breathe in there. There we go. Now we're ready for Han.
I said you're gonna dress him up as a Democrat.
Yeah, he's a Democrat
I said
today.
that. How did I know that?
He's a Democrat. So we're ready for college football now. We got our costumes on.
Put it down. I just gotta give you 8 pictures. Just do what you
Look at Sarah Palin right there, though. We got our man Han Vance is on the line. We're going to talk a little college football. Han, are you there?
I am, Wayne. How you doing today? Lady T, Candy, what's going on?
Good morning. I'm doing great. Are you back in Georgia or are you still out in L.A.?
No, I'm back in the dirty.
In the dirty? Okay. I heard that.
Call it like you see it.
Han's going to be a thug for Halloween.
No, that's the only day I don't dress like a thug.
Well, Han, your boys showed up down in Jacksonville. Your Bulldogs finally rose to the occasion that I think everybody wanted to see them do.
Yeah, Jarvis wouldn't let Murray throw that game away. The talent finally rose, the cream rose to the top, and I knew Florida had a shaky offense. They were a second-half team all year. I didn't know that we were going to hold them to one 50-yard field goal in the second half. We really shut them down.
Yeah, it was a great game for Georgia. Jarvis Jones, who has been missing, in my opinion, since the Missouri game. I know he's had some ankle injuries, but that defense finally looks like the defense that everybody predicted with the talent that it had should be playing all year. Florida, when you look at the other side, really, Georgia gave people the recipe to beat Florida.
Yeah, well, if the real recipe in the SEC is to play home games, because if you look at the losses and who has losses, that was a huge win for Georgia because it wasn't a home game. Florida's only loss was away from home. It was in Jacksonville. LSU's lost on the road. Mississippi State's lost on the road. South Carolina's lost on the road. So getting the win in a quote-unquote neutral site, where we have won 11 more than them, by the way, 2 straight, and we'll go for 5 of 10 next year, so the dominance is over. That was a huge win.
And looking at the top team in the country, which also resides in the SEC, Alabama. Do you think if A.J. McCarron can take this team and go undefeated, win another national championship, should he win the Heisman?
Heisman is a little much to me because we all know it's statistically based partially, and it always has been. But, man, is he efficient. He just doesn't make mistakes. He's so well coached up. Kirby Smart, Saban, we have incredible coaches in Alabama. I don't think all of them are going to be able to stick around. I think Smart's going to probably take a job this year, but I don't know about the Heisman, but he never makes mistakes.
And when you say Kirby Smart, because I was doing an interview on Auburn radio a couple of days ago, and they asked me who should Auburn hire. I said, go get Kirby Smart. Can you see Auburn reaching out and trying to grab Alabama's defensive coordinator?
Well, there's always been a history of Georgia guys coaching at Auburn and Auburn guys coaching at Georgia, going back to before Vince Dooley. Kirby Smart is a classmate of mine. He's a great coach. He'd be a good hire. I actually think Van Gorder is a stellar defensive coordinator, but he just didn't have a chance this year because the team isn't performing. They don't have any mojo. They don't have any momentum. They're not playing hard. I think Kirby would be a great hire at Auburn. But real quick, looking around the rest of the landscape of the South, in my now hiring section, or rather, now accepting applications, Arkansas is going to be looking for a guy. Right. Auburn's going to be looking for a guy. Tennessee's going to be looking for a guy. The North Avenue Trade School is going to have a job opening right in Atlanta, Georgia. And basketball powerhouse Kentucky is going to be looking for a football coach. So there's a lot of jobs coming open.
I think Kentucky is also going to be looking for a football coach.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
They're going to be looking for a football coach, in the land of blue. They'll tolerate mediocrity, but they won't tolerate this.
Right. And when you watch college football now, there's a team back that it seems like the BCS is happy to be playing well again, and that's Notre Dame.
Yeah, they are. I don't forget the Stanford bad call that would have cost them a loss. Stanford's a pretty tough team, but all of a sudden Notre Dame is dominant because they beat Oklahoma when OU stands for Overrated University. Everyone knows that. Notre Dame's a good team. They're defensive. They're solid. But what happens now is their schedule softens. So they're in trouble. They needed USC to be better than they are. They needed to win that Stanford game more convincingly. I don't think Notre Dame, unless they're only one of 2 undefeateds, is really going to get there. But Notre Dame's always been everyone's darlings. Notre Dame, everyone loves them, and the rest of us love to hate them.
Right. And then the people out in Oregon are trying to figure out why we can't move up in the poll. They seem to be stuck at 4. Do you think that's a fair assessment of them?
Well, that's not so much the polls because they're number 2 in the actual voting as they're number 4 in the computers. The reason is their schedule is a little bit backloaded. The problem there is Oregon State just lost. USC just lost again and has the same record as UCLA, by the way, the preseason number 1. So Oregon State has lost. Stanford's lost twice. Oregon's lost. They may not be able to get that quality win. And everyone's saying, they'll get to play USC twice. And what, USC is going to have 4 losses and be a quality win? Oregon hasn't really played anybody. Their video game quality, they beat the crap out of people, but I don't know that they're going to be able to improve that much. But when I look at the schedules for Kansas State and Notre Dame, Oregon's schedule is comparable or better. So the computers, the way it works is it's every week they're readjusted based on who you play.
Right.
So the computers are going to rise some. They're already number 2 in the vote. I don't think anyone really wants to see Oregon again, to tell you the truth, after they lost to LSU in the regular season and Auburn in the championship game. But someone's going to get there. This would be a great year for a playoff. We don't have a playoff, so someone's going to get there. Someone may get left out.
Well, once again, in the SEC West, the two powerhouses are meeting this Saturday. Alabama taking on LSU. The SEC seems like it has a playoff system because these teams have to play each other. Alabama being undefeated, LSU with 1 loss. How do you see this game going there, hon?
It's hard to pick against a home team in the SEC. As far as the top 10 team, the home teams have won every single game. And I think Bama's the stronger squad. They've done, again, a remarkable job. You remember in the preseason, I talked about how there were some deficiencies at LSU and Bama. Bama replaced 7 starters on defense and the top running back in the NFL draft. Granted, they haven't really played anybody, but they've been very efficient, almost an executioner-style defense. I don't see how LSU is going to be able to score it all, but as Les Miles says, Death Valley at night is where teams go to die.
Great line. Isn't that a great line? It sounds like a Schwarzenegger movie, doesn't it?
I'll be back.
Well, hon, thank you for calling in, helping us out with the college football report. Always great to hear from you. Glad you're back in the great state of Georgia.
What are you dressing up for in Halloween? Are you going out for Halloween?
I don't know. My wife would like me to get out of this robe I've been wearing since I got back in town, so she's just going to be happy if I have pants on.
Well, please don't answer the door for trick-or-treaters like that.
No, they'll arrest you for that kind of stuff.
Or you can wear the robe and answer the door for trick-or-treaters and be Jerry Sandusky. You know what I mean?
No, a guy up in college when I was in Georgia was walking around in a robe, carrying a cup of coffee and a newspaper, and they said, "What are you dressed as?" He said, "Your dad in the morning."
Right.
Hon Vance, College Football Report. We'll be right back with more of the Sports Jock Show after this.
Big Hairy Blog, right?
See, I knew they weren't going to keep those on, so I got them something else, too.
Oh!
Yeah. I knew they were going to try to play me like that. We'll be back with more of the Sports Jock Show right after this.
My eyes beheld me in eerie sight. Or my monster on his slab, he began to rise. Suddenly, to my surprise.
More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next. Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Honey, I'm home. I've got a surprise for you.
Get that filthy, disgusting tire out of my living room. You're on my favorite rug.
Calm down. You're gonna love this.
What?
Whoa.
The goldfish bowl.
I won't run over them. Relax.
You roll that tire right back out of here.
Relax. It's all part of my master plan to save us money.
This is not going to be our coffee table. Don't even think about putting a piece of glass on top.
No, honey. This is a reminder to keep our tires properly inflated so we can save money on gas.
Can't we just tie a string around our fingers?
Sweetie, properly inflated tires could save us more money at the pump than a week's worth of gas.
You're getting tire tracks on my love seat.
Exactly. To remind us that we love saving gas with properly inflated tires.
What's wrong with the sticky note on the dashboard?
Discover smarter ways to save hundreds of dollars on gas and help the environment, too, at the Alliance to Save Energy's website, drivesmarterchallenge.org.
Hey, let's put the sticky note on the tire.
Hi, we're talking to real smokers about quitting. Tell me when you smoke and why you smoke.
Eat, cigarette, kids, cigarette, dinner, another cigarette.
One on my way to lunch, one after lunch.
And another cigarette, and another cigarette.
Have you tried to quit?
Yes. I become angry.
It ain't that easy. You can't just quit cold turkey. I tried.
What would you do different?
Actually having a plan and thinking it through.
You have to relearn how to live your life without a cigarette in your hand.
With the right plan, you can quit smoking. Free at becomeanx.org. X, a new way to think about quitting. Brought to you by X and the Ad Council.
I'm Ed Smart, father of a child who was abducted.
I'm John Walsh. Like Ed, I also know the terror of having a child who was kidnapped. But now we have wonderful technology to aid in this battle.
It's called the Amber Alert. It's an early notification system to the public when every second counts.
Amber Alert is a partnership. We want to thank you, the public, broadcasters, transportation, and law enforcement. Amber Alert really works.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. And now, back to the...
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. We'd like to first of all thank Han Vance for calling in, BigHarryBlog.com, talking about college football. Great game, number 5 LSU against number 1 Alabama this Saturday. Game that people have been expecting since the beginning of the season. Should be a great game. Probably will determine who goes to the championship out of the SEC West. Big Kenny, I see you.
Yeah, before we get out of college football, I just wanted to give a shout out to number 81 from the Mississippi State Bulldogs, Robert Johnson Jr. Watched that young man grow up.
Okay.
I got the pleasure of calling him nephew. So he's actually the son of my best friend. So he was the only person to score against the Alabama Crimson Tide from Mississippi State Bulldogs. So way to go, Rojo 81.
What's your friend's name?
Robert Johnson Sr.
Oh, just checking. Just checking.
But he just doesn't put the SR on his name because he was the first one. That's why we call him Junior.
Yeah, I'm glad that someone scored because I was like, Mississippi State scored a touchdown. Alabama was 34-0. And then what was so great about that, your friend scores, and Nick Saban rips the cornerback. I mean, like the game was in hand. It was everybody. He had taken all the starters out, so he was yelling at the second guy, the second string cornerback, like the game was really in the balance.
But that kind of accountability, man, makes people pay attention to detail and perform at a higher level. If the game is a blowout and he's still in your face, when the game is close, that dude's going to be playing that much more intense.
Right. Before we finish, because I knew when I gave them those things, they were going to pretend like they were too much
for them to do their job.
Right. So now I have their true Halloween costume.
The true Halloween.
The true Halloween costume. Hold on 1 second. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, hold on.
I might have to fix your wig, Sports Jock, because you're looking a little bit more Rick James-ish.
No, that's RG3 all the way.
I'm RG3.
That's RG3
I know, but
this is for the
isn't that cute?
Producer.
That's the bad producer.
Give him his bib because that's what he comes here and gives us. Take my Sarah Palin mask away. And then because the good producer still needs some color in his life, we got him a
fro.
Yes, we had to get him.
That dude's gonna go home and